Good afternoon. I would like to welcome all of you who joined us here in Media Center in Ukraine Forum. This is the first of our events. I would like to thank everyone who tells the truth about the war that continues for the ninth year. This is the 201st day since the full-fledged occupation of our territory, of invasion. The last days were demonstrating a momentum when our flags are being planted in our settlements, and one of those settlements was the city of Izium. Maksym Strelnik is online with us, member of Izium City Council. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, glory to Ukraine, glory to heroes. Maksym, we know that Izium has our flag planted there. So, can you tell us, please, what's happening in Izium right now? It's true. On September the 10th, Saturday, thanks to the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the blue and yellow flag of Ukraine is again waving over Izium. We can see photos and videos of those flags being installed everywhere in all of the buildings, at the city hall, at the highest hill in Kharkiv region, the mountain that is 218 meters tall. We see the residents covered in Ukrainian flags coming to welcome and thank the Ukrainian soldiers, offering them some cookies and other meals, including strawberries, polunitsa, thus thanking them for liberating them from Russian captivity. Right now, there are stabilization efforts happening in Izium. The Security Service of Ukraine, SBU, and other law enforcement agencies are performing them so that the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine will be able to officially inform us with this good news, which we have been waiting for so long. Mr. Maksym, what's the situation with the humanitarian situation in the city? What's the status of the critical infrastructure? Whether the utilities are working? What's happening with the hospitals? Unfortunately, Izium has suffered a lot because of the armed aggression of the Russian occupiers. As was stated by Valery Marchenko, Izium mayor, more than 80% of the whole infrastructure in the city has been ruined. I'm talking about private buildings, high-rise buildings, in residential area, industrial plants, state administration buildings, utilities companies. Unfortunately, the city is in ruins, and the worst thing is that the winter's coming. And the centralized heating system that previously was used by most of the residents of the city during wintertime has been ruined. That's why those challenges will be quite acute for local self-government authorities, as well as the Kharkiv civil and military administration. And we hope that the Ukrainian authorities will also help in resolving this issue, because it's a very acute one. Right now, we will have to carry out fast all the expertise, all the expert assessments, come up with project design plans, and launch the rebuilding of the city that the residents were waiting for so long. Are we aware now what are the victims, the number of the victims among the civilians during the occupation, at least preliminary ones? Well, such information still requires further updates and modifications, because you should recognize that, unfortunately, like in other temporarily occupied places, in Izium, the Russian occupiers were perpetrating war crimes and tried to hide them. Out of the information we have, more than 1,000 local residents have died as a result of military actions. But unfortunately, we believe that even larger number has suffered because they were not able to receive needed medical assistance. because the Russian occupiers back in March have ruined all of the hospitals in Izium, and they were not functioning. Access to drugs, to medicines was limited. The Russian occupiers robbed all of the drugstores, so access to medicines and hospitalization of the residents from Izium who need immediate medical attention, these are top priorities right now. Can you tell us, please, have you started renovation of the work of the local city authorities, or there is no access for you to that city and only the armed forces are there? Well, the city authorities all that time stayed elsewhere in Kharkiv region upon the request of Alexei Nigov, the governor of Kharkiv region. On all of the tasks that were set for us, we delivered on them. So right now, the city authorities will start performing our direct office duties as soon as the stabilization efforts are over. But we keep in touch with local residents continuously. We are already organizing the work of our structural units so that as soon as the issue arises how to, relaunch the work, we would be able to relaunch our job duties in an organized fashion. Ukrinform Ira Udodenko. Two questions. First of all, can you tell us, please, what's the situation with the foodstuff and hygiene products in your city? All this time, the humanitarian situation in Izium was very difficult indeed. The Russian occupiers refused the Ukrainian authorities, city council, volunteers, international organizations in opening any humanitarian corridors to supply the most important foodstuff, drugs, and hygiene products, like you asked me. So this is also among the priorities for us, and we have requests from numerous international organizations and volunteers ready to bring the humanitarian help into the city. So upon coordination with the civil military administration of Kharkiv region and our volunteers, we will be able to start bringing those humanitarian supplies to the city soon enough. Thank you. Do we know now how many residents will remain in the city, or are you planning to evacuate residents because of the fact that the winter is coming? Right now, at least what we know, there is about 10,000 residents staying in Izium. Luckily, recently we were able to succeed with quiet evacuation. Women, seniors, and teenagers below 14 years of age have been evacuated. Most of the residents of Izium are waiting to return back to their homes, but the situation is very difficult with critical infrastructure. And right now, it's a great challenge for all of us. Those are the issues that will be discussed at the highest level, and the respective decisions would be made. Right now, it's still under the discussion, and we hope that we will have enough time to make sure that the winter doesn't come unexpectedly. Thank you, Maksym. Thank you for finding time to join us here. That was Maksym Strelnikov, member of Izium City Council. Esteemed colleagues, our next briefing will be at 1:30 p.m. We'll have Natalia Humenyuk with us, head of the United Coordinating Press Center of Security and Defense Forces of the south of Ukraine. We'll discuss the current situation in the south and on the Black Sea, so stay with us.